Do you have a favorite card?
I do.
What is it?
It's the Queen of Hearts.
The Queen of Hearts. Okay, I have a favorite card as well, which is, don't ask me why, but it's the Three of Spades. Okay, so your favorite card is the Queen of Hearts. What's your name, by the way?
Liz.
Liz. Hold it to your right hand, Liz. Or your left hand, it doesn't matter at this point. I'll give you my favorite card. Okay, the Three of Spades. You protect it. Put your other hand on top. Don't let anyone come close to the Three of Spades. Your favorite card, the Queen of Hearts. Watch the Queen. Make sure I don't get in there. Do you feel it? Now I have the 3. And in your hand,
Wait. Come again.
should I do it again? Come again, I like that. That's very polite to do. Look, if I do it like this, look, I'll do it with you. So you don't know which one the Queen or the 3 is at this point, yes? Hold out your hand. I'll give you this one. Put your hand on top. Let's see. So I've got the Queen. Watch the ink of the Queen. You'll see the moment they switch places. Watch the Queen as it changes right into the 3. Have a look.
What? How do you do that?
How did you do that?
I just have some magic, I guess.
Yes.
That's insane.
Yeah, I didn't know you could be this.
Oh wait, can we do it again?
All right. Now, one of the questions that we get all the time at Illusionist is, hey, Illusionist, what is the best opener? Now, obviously, it depends on the magic that you do, and it depends on a few things. What's your style? What's your personal preference? I can just speak for myself. I hate openers, and now I'm just talking for card magic, that take too long, that are process heavy. All right, shuffle the cards. Split the deck into 7 piles, burn the first 4, call your cousin, move to Denmark, and that's your card. You know, it's too much. For me, especially if I'm performing for strangers, they don't know who I am. They take their valuable time to watch a grown man try to fool them with paper. So I want it to be direct, visual, interactive, and strong. That's it. And the 2-card transposition, and let's be honest, we all know this trick, we all love it, hopefully, and we've all done it at some point, ticks all the boxes. So I just want to share with you how I perform the 2-card transposition, and I'm going to be honest, it's pretty much the classic, because it's just what it is. It's a classic for a reason. So I won't go into too much detail with all the technical slides. You know, I'll focus more on the subtleties and the psychology that I think add a couple % to this trick and make it a bit more stronger and a really good and solid opener that you can just rely on, all right? Especially if you're nervous, which happens to me still all the time. It's the first trick. I want to know that I can rely on the trick. I want to be okay, even if I'm shaking, even if I'm nervous, I got this. 2 double lifts, a top change, here we are. Got this. All right, so I also add a second phase at the end of it, which I love doing as well, and which puts a nice little ribbon on the 2-card transpo. All right, enough talking. I'm gonna head inside and teach you the 2-card transposition. All right. All right, let's jump into the explanation for phase number 1. Now, before I do that, I should probably mention that yes, you do need a deck of cards, who would have thought, but you will also need an extra card, which means you will have a duplicate. So I'm using 2 4 of hearts, okay? So same card on the face, same card on the back. Those can be any 2 cards as long as they're the same, but I will always recommend you using 2 red cards. I always prefer using hearts and low number cards, not a lot of ink on them. I always like to use the 4 or the 2. It's just my personal preference. I've noticed out of experience, a lot of spectators struggle with you know, the 10 of spades, 7 of spades, 9 of clubs, 8 of spades. Just, I try to stay away from those cards. So you got those two on top, and then you will also need a friendly, contrasting card. I will use the ace of spades. Look how pretty that is. I mean, amazing. Only nerds like us will get joy out of the design of a playing card, but here we are. The ace of spades will go in between your two duplicate cards. So I've got the 4 of hearts followed by the ace of spades and the 4 of hearts on top, and that is your setup. Those cards can now go in the box and you would be ready to perform. Like I mentioned before, this is, in my opinion, one of the best openers that you can do with a deck of cards. There you go, Yannick. So you might as well already have them set on top. Now, what you could do is you can throw in a little false overhand shuffle, any overhand or false shuffle that you want to, as long as you maintain the cards back on top. You could also just do a riffle shuffle right here. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're going to start off with the hook, and this is just any presentation that you want to do. I don't think this trick needs much of a presentation because it sort of speaks for itself and it's very direct. But what I always like to do with this trick is I go, okay, this is not going to be a typical card trick where you choose one and I find it. This is going to be a bit different. It's actually going to happen in your hands. So that's how I start off, which immediately in my mind, hopefully, it sort of triggers a response of the spectator by going, all right, I want to see this in my hands. Come on, Magic Boy, show me. Right. Now, I talk to them and I will use the top card and say, okay, hold out your right hand for me. Now, don't do what I just did, which is, okay, hold out your right hand and accidentally flash the 4 of hearts. Okay, hold out your hand for me, your right or left hand. And all I just did there is I push that card off, get a break underneath, hold my pinky break right there, and put the other card back on top. That's literally how I used to do double lifts, and I kind of got away from it, and I was like, why? You know, we learn all these fancy double lifts, and I think this is still one of the best get-readies that you can do. Don't run if you're not being chased. So it's motivated. I take the top card and say, okay, hold out your hand right there, flat like a table. I do my double lift. The ace of spades is their card, okay? So again, don't run if you're not being chased. So go slow. The ace of spades is going to be your card, and I place it in their hand. Now, when I was younger, I was always worried about this moment. I was always worried that they will turn this card over and look at it. And you know what? It happened more often than not. Because I live in Germany and performing magic for Germans sucks. No, I mean it does, but that wasn't the reason. I was just communicating that I was worried without realizing I was communicating it. Suddenly my pacing changed. You know, I placed the card in the hand and put your other hand on top and don't, you know, spectators aren't dumb. They will immediately smell blood and realize, oh, you don't want me to look at it? So they will look at it, okay? But if you communicate without actually words, without saying, so just non-verbal body language, attitude, that you don't care about this, they won't care, okay? So I don't change my pacing, I don't go any faster, I don't seem worried about it. Say, okay, the ace of spades is your card, hold out your hand like a table. Perfect. And put your other hand on top of the ace so no one can get to it. So I do that as an afterthought, and I always say put your hand on top of the ace. Right? So little subtleties right there. We love subtleties. So they will remember, okay, ace of spades in between the hand. If they're convinced this is the ace, the reaction will go up. Okay? If they have any doubts, it won't be as good. Okay? Now, you'll do another double lift, same as before. As they, put their hand on top, you can push those two cards over, get a break. Look, I won't go into heavy detail of all these techniques. There's going to be basically two double lifts and a top change, or 3 double lifts. Look, if you want to learn those techniques, if you aren't familiar with them already, you should... Did I just have a stroke? I might have. You should check out Unreal Card Magic that we've released together with Studio 52. You can learn all of these techniques and more by the best in the world, in my opinion, Ben Earl. All right? So double lift, they think they're holding to the ace of spades, but in reality, they're holding on to the four of hearts. We're ahead of them. Yes. So they put the hand on top, you got your break, you do your second double lift, the four of hearts is my card, okay? Turn the double over, bring the hand out of frame, and I mean the deck hand. This one doesn't matter anymore. So I drop it on the table, I put it to the side if I'm standing, this goes out of view. I don't want them to think the switching happens now, okay? It's already done, the magic is done. So don't run if you're not being chased, don't go like this. Boom, it's done. Look, I've got the ace, you've got the... It gets an okay reaction, but it's too much to process for your spectator. They go, wait, who? So go slow. Create a magic moment, you know? Slap the card on the back of their hand. Blow on the card. Spin it. Say a magic word. Do whatever you need to create that magic moment. This is when it happened, okay? And then framing is important. So I go, did you feel that? They will go, yes, you touched the card on the back of my hand. It's not very magical. So yes, but you see what just happened? Now I had
all systems down.
The four of hearts, but they switched places, which means now I have your ace of spades. So I go really slow, right? I build suspense. You don't have to say word for word, but just frame it. They just switched places. No way. Yes, they just waiting for the confirmation. Look, now I've got the ace of spades, which was in your hand, which means, and then step back, let them react, and let them react. I gotta emphasize this. I'm guilty of this myself, you know, especially if there's a second phase. Oh yeah, all right, watch this, here's another one. No. Let them marinate in the magic, or as I think Gregory Wilson always said that. Just give them the moment, step back, don't say anything, don't interrupt, let them react, okay? And that is phase number one. Now, you could totally stop right here, and that is the classic way of doing it. Or you could add an extra sneaky little phase to really melt their brains. Phase number two. Now, if you've done magic for at least a week and you've done it for a layman, you know what they always say, do it again. Not because they're so amazed how well you did it. Well, maybe they did, that's the goal, but they want to catch you. They did not expect what you just did, especially with a trick like that has happened in the hand. So they want to see you do it again so they can catch you out. Most likely that's what they do. I might be a bit traumatized by the German audience, but just my personal PTSD experience right here. Okay, now there's a second phase, and I try to structure it that way that it avoids everything that I was worried about, which is most likely now if you would do it again, they will look at the card in their hand. Okay, so I have my four, I take the ace, and I have the ace on the bottom. So the ace is closest to the deck. Obviously, don't forget, I have the other four of hearts on top of the deck as well. Okay, I want them to see this image right here, the four and the ace. Okay, so this is the image that I give them right here without saying, look at this. Ace four, four ace, they see this. It's like, I'm going to do this again. Now, most of the time, I would now do it for a different person. Again, just because there is a higher chance of the other person going, all right, let me look at it. Okay. Even if you add all the little subtleties and audience control that you want to, there is a chance, okay? Now, I'm here, they see this, everyone sees this, okay? Those two cards been in use the whole time, and now I go, okay, I'm gonna do this trick with you. Okay, and now I top changed that ace for the four. Okay, now I'm gonna leave them face up so you can see exactly what happens. As I point to my next spectator, I do a top change, okay? Just like that. Obviously never do this face up because that's a different kind of trick, but if you do it face down, you're right here, say, okay, I'm gonna do it again, but this time I want you to see the moment it happens. And it's done, and it looks great, okay? So you just do a top change with the other card on top of it, and you're sweet. Now, if you do it for the same person, that's no problem as well. I would just go, okay, I'm gonna do it again. This time you're gonna see exactly how it's gonna happen. But I want you to take the 4 and the ace and mix them face down like this. So now I'm gonna start mixing those cards. Obviously, they're 2 4s. Okay, I mix them. I show them what I want them to do. I say face down. So do it without looking at them so you don't know where the 4 or the ace is. So those are the exact instructions I give them. So again, avoiding that they go, hey, all right? That's how they would react, hey. So they mix them up, boom, 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 face down. Obviously, I've got the deck in my hand. Now I would get ready with another break underneath the ace of spades for the color change I'm about to do. I tell them, okay, whenever you're done, hand me either one of them. Now I'm gonna take the card back. So again, hand them to me. I often say face down, like this. And I don't turn this card over yet. That's very important. I say, okay, and put your other hand back on top, okay? So now nobody knows what's what is. If I look at this card now, they think they can look at theirs. So I keep this one face down, put your other hand back on top. All right. All right, you've handed me the 4 of hearts. Like I said, this time I want you to see the very moment. So now I'm gonna start shaking the 4 of hearts and I'm gonna do my twirl change. Now you can do any color change that you want to. I just prefer in this position because the card is already face down on top. I do the twirl change, which is literally as you shake those 2 cards back to back, you just turn them over. But if you do it fast, it should look something like this. It plays really well for layman. In the performance, I actually did, I think, the slowest twirl change of all time. I can't even remember if I did the shapeshifter. But I even did the, like, if it wasn't for that group, it was for someone else. I literally went like this because just 5 minutes earlier, I did the twirl change and I threw the 2 cards away. They just left my hand. That has never happened before. So I was like, never again. And I did it slow and it still worked. Color change is always, you know, very magical. I think we sometimes forget that. Now you could also do the shapeshifter. Any color change works, okay? But again, I set it up like this. I say, watch the ink. You'll actually see the moment. Now I put it back on top. As I touch the ink, almost like it's heating up, you'll see the moment they will switch places. Watch. That's the moment it's done. I put them back on top, drop the deck to the side, and bam! That is the big finish right there. And that is face number 2. And then you will literally see their brains melting. 4 out of 10 times. 1 out of 10 indeed. All right, now I thought before I let you go, I'll do one more thing, which is watching the performance one more time. And as I'm watching it, maybe pointing a few things out that I've could have done better, or maybe I find even a couple of things that I've done well. But yeah, let's just watch this again and see what I've done here.
And do you have a favorite card?
Alrighty.
I do.
First thing right away is, now I mentioned this is a great opener, but obviously you can do this trick at any point of your performance. Now in this case, it was my opener and it was maybe my second trick that I did, and I had to set up the dupe and random card on top of the deck right in front of the spectators. So I literally just do it right in front of them as I talk to them. So I happened to ask her, what's your favorite card? Kind of just killing time really. And she happened to say the Queen of Hearts, which in this case was actually my duplicate card. So yes, we've got a win. Sometimes you don't know what could happen by just asking, hey, what's your favorite card? Or does this mean anything to you? Or does this card mean anything to you? If you, for example, you know, pull out a random card that happened to be, you know, not their card. And I often do that. And I always thought it was subconscious. And it probably is, but the amount of times I've had a spectator say, yeah, it's a 7, it's my lucky number. You know, if they somehow have a personal connection to just a piece of paper, it makes the magic probably a little bit stronger. So in this case, I just got really lucky. She said the Queen of Hearts. I was like, yes, that's my duplicate. And yeah, it immediately made it a little bit better because it seemed like a free choice.
What is it?
It's the Queen of Hearts.
The Queen of Hearts. Okay, I have a favorite card as well, which is, don't ask me why, but it's the 3 of Spades.
The 3 of Spades obviously is not my favorite card. I don't have a favorite card. I'm not a loser. Okay, I'm a loser. But the 3 of Spades just happened to be next to my second Queen of Hearts. So I maneuvered those 2 cards to the top, and it was a nice contrasting card, so it worked out well. All right, so now we've got apparently 2 favorite cards in play.
Okay, so your favorite card is the Queen of Hearts. What's your name, by the way? Liz. Hold it to your right hand, Liz.
Now, I probably didn't think that far, but it might just be like me being on autopilot because I've just set up those 3 cards on top. Me asking her name and dropping the deck out of frame is what I mentioned earlier in the performance. It's just, I don't want to jump right into my double lift after I just, you know, went through the cards and all the focus is on here. So I drop the cards, ask her name, break the rhythm for a few seconds, and then get into it. So there's the double lift.
I'll give you my
favorite card.
Okay, the 3 of spades. You protect it. Put your other hand on top. Don't let anyone come close.
So there we are. Again, that's what I've mentioned as well. As she put her hand on top, I go, don't let anyone get close to the 3 of spades. So I subtly mention the 3 of spades again. So hopefully she's convinced she's holding the 3 of spades. And I think she is.
Favorite card, the Queen of Hearts. Watch the Queen. Make sure I don't get in there.
Drop the deck out of frame.
Did you feel it?
Go slow.
I have the 3. And in
your hand is the Queen of Hearts. I'm quiet. Shut up. Don't say anything. Let them react.
Should I do it again?
Now, you can see this is not a screaming reaction. Oh my God. I actually like this kind of reaction because you can see it lingers a little bit. Right? Especially with the girl in the red and the guy in the middle. You can see them like, you know, wait a second. You'll see, especially the girl right here.
Should I do it again? Come again. I like that. That's
you can see her go,
very
wait a second.
Look, if I do it like this.
Look, now, here's what I've done wrong. I rushed, right? She said, come again, do it again. And then I did the change, right? I did the top change. I just rushed into it. The reaction isn't even done yet. So I should have just waited a little bit, be a little bit more patient to really make sure everyone sees, again, the Queen and the 3 and then do the change. But I think I just wanted to get it out of the way. And I thought, oh, this is the perfect time to do the change. But the reaction isn't done yet. So just a little slower. Take a breath, wait for the right moment.
If I do it like this.
You can see, like literally as I mix up the cards, the girl in the red isn't even looking at the cards. She goes, wait a second. So,
on the Queen or the 3 is at this point, yes? Hold out your hand. I'll give you this
now, I
one.
don't know what I was thinking here. Because obviously in the explanation I mentioned, you can now, after you've done the top change and they're both the duplicate card, you can hand the cards to the spectator and have them mix them up. Obviously face down. Now in this case, I've done it, which is fine if I would have, at the end, after I mixed them up, said, okay, which one do you want, this one or this one? Okay? But literally in this case, I just hand one to them, which it makes it a bit weak. Like, why am I just mixing them up? There's no reason for it. And then for me to just hand it. So I could have mixed them up and been, all right, which one do you want, this one or this one? And then continued as I would. So, yeah, don't do that.
Your hand on top. Let's see.
But there you can see I've waited till she put her hand on top and then I turned it over. And again, there's no change in pace. I'm not, well, yeah, put your hand on top. She's just following along with the instructions, okay?
Watch the ink of the Queen. You'll see the moment
so the
they
focus
switch
is on
places.
the Queen, there's
Watch
the change.
As it changes.
And you can see, literally, the twirl change is absolutely in slow motion. I've been having a lot of strokes in this video, hey. But you get my point. I've done it slow, but a color change is always something nice. Especially, it's so surprising. It's visual, and it gets good reactions. The mouth opens, get the big eyes, and yeah, love the twirl change, even in slow motion. And she almost refuses. She almost refuses to like open her hand. She knows, everyone knows what happened. But she almost goes like, ah, no way.
How did
I think
you
that's
do
what
that?
she was thinking. And there's the confirmation. Yes. And all different reactions. I love that.
Oh wait, can we do it again?
Should we?
Yeah, and that's a little thing that I say at the very end a lot of times. I mean, you know, spectators either say, okay, do it again, or they ask you, how do you do that? Which is a rhetorical question in most cases. They don't really want to know the answer. And I often, you know, used to, when I was a bit younger, say the classic cheesy magician's line, the magician lines that we all said at one point, which is, very well, thank you, magic man. And now I often just go with, how did you do that? Especially a trick that sort of happens in their hands and is a bit more interactive. I can just put it on them. And for me, that line works well because, again, it's sort of like plays into the character of me just being like, I don't really know how this happens myself. We just kind of experience it together. Very, very much the Spanish school of magic, of the magic just happens and we're in this together, just very much toned down. It's the German touch. It's like, how did you do that? And then hopefully they won't ask again. But yeah, hopefully this gave you some value, me rewatching this again. Let me know in the comments if you guys maybe enjoy this kind of format of, I mean, we've got so much footage of me performing, but also some other magicians. Maybe I could just react and point out a few things that I've noticed. So if that's something you would enjoy, let me know in the comments. And if you wouldn't enjoy that, just keep it to yourself. No, all feedback is appreciated, okay? So that's all. I'll see you guys next time. I really got to start working on these outros. I'm not good at this, but bye. You can go now. Bye.